right, y'all. Today we have a very special edition of the Rich Ad Poor Ad podcast. Zach, man, we got an interesting one today. You got your host,
Yeah.
of course, Zach Johnson in the house. Got me, Dylan, ready to crank up some very musical ads and whatnot. But yeah, we have some very special guests, the guys from Undergrads, Tom and Chris. Thanks for jumping on, y'all. We're pumped to have you. If you don't know about these guys, they're killing it in the moving game. They're blowing up super hardcore. I also may run a little bit of their ads, which, do wonders and whatnot. But Undergrads, guys, thanks for jumping on. Give everybody a little introduction of yourselves so that people can kind of have some insights there.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us. My name's Tom.
And this is Chris.
And I guess in simplest terms, what we do for undergrads is it's a labor-only moving platform that's powered by university students. So what that means is our students sign up and basically go on this platform and put in their class schedules, their extracurriculars, and then say when they do and when they don't want to work. Then we book out moving jobs based on that. And they're able to go out to the customer site, load and unload a U-Haul truck, and then get back to class within a matter of a few hours. So they're able to work around their class schedule and make a few bucks here and there based on when they're available. And it's extremely beneficial for them. It was great when we were in school. We started it when we were seniors. We got about a good full semester of it. And it was amazing because we were able to do this instead of go work as a bartender until 2, 3, 4 a.m. or working at the grocery store bagging groceries. We're able to go out and work on a move, work out, and get paid to do it for 2 to 3 hours and come out with 60, 80 bucks. So it works out great as a little side income for students.
That's awesome. And you guys have had quite a bit of success on the advertising front. What are you guys up to and spending each and every month on ads right now?
So it varies by the month. For moving, it's a really cyclical industry. So 50% of your revenue for moving is done between May and the beginning of September. So it all depends on the month. In the summer months,
Wow.
we heavily advertise. So we're looking anywhere from $12,000 to $20,000 a month for in advertising, just depending on the month.
Nice. And then you guys roll it back. I mean, is it when you're going like basically October through like April, you just cut it back and with the same level of campaigns, or are you just like, what happens in the off months?
Exactly right. We cut it back. There's only a finite number of people out there looking to move. It doesn't make sense to overspend on advertising, dilute your CPA. And so for us, it makes sense to move it back and then really spend our advertising budget in the months when people are looking to move.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Well, I'm excited. Let's dive into it today. Let's dive into this Rich Ad segment. Tell us what's working now for you guys.
What's working for us is all digital, baby. So we thought about doing stuff like brochures and sending them out to people who are buying new homes. We thought about reaching out to real estate agents personally and trying to make those connections. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to how much time you're going to spend, what the return's going to be. And for us, when we have someone like Dylan run our Facebook ads and we operate on Google heavily as well, we can get these ads going, reach an extremely large audience very easily with minimal effort on our end and get a great return on it. So for us, we do everything through Google and Facebook.
Yeah, if we can't track it, if we can't measure it, we don't do it. And that's why digital's right up our alley.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So Dylan, you got the winning ad rolled up?
Oh, I do. I mean, it's more of a kind of concept, I'd say. We have a lot of ads that have absolutely killed it, but the concept is there. And Chris, I think you were the one who mentioned it, but it's just being very transparent, very upfront out of the gate on labor only moving, sitting at that $45 an hour range, to where that real unique selling proposition is, hey, they don't have to pay an arm and a leg to get, super high end movers, and that kind of concept there, more or less. So, I mean, it's just kind of being very transparent on the costs. I feel like the big benefit we have, in the ads themselves, of course, there are dozens of variations, but it's, don't overpay for moving. So, or don't get overcharged like other moving companies. So that usually raises some eyebrows like, hey, if I could save an extra, $120 here or something, I'm going to check this out. So that winning ad concept is just being really transparent, showing the cost up front, And that's been quite a game changer for us. And of course, you got to showcase these, college students in the ads moving these, of course, just because, people want to see who's moving that gear or their, home items more or less. So on that kind of winning ad side, I wouldn't say it's necessarily an ad, but more of a kind of a concept on just being really, really transparent up front. Save hundreds, with undergrad specialized labor only model. So it's just very obvious, very upfront, where there is not much hiding in the fine print, I would imagine. Would y'all kind of say the same thing?
That's exactly right. Our number one value prop as a business itself is the fact that we only charge $45 per hour per mover, no fees attached. So we put that front and center on the website because as a consumer, the big pain points people have is the extremely high cost of moving, as well as the fact that many moving companies add all these crazy fees at the end of your move. So if they drive 30 miles, they're going to add $1.50 a mile. They have to go up and down stairs. They'll charge you $5 to go up and down stairs. Whereas we just say, you know what, we're not going to do that. $45 an hour. We'll get it done no matter what. And then it's kind of funny you mentioned the showcasing the college students. We got a request or a message on Facebook from one of our ads that has two bigger guys on it. It was a lady. And she said, yo, can I get the number of these people? and we thought it was the company. So we're like, yeah, ma'am, our numbers, blah, 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 blah. Turns out she was asking for those guys' specific numbers. And so having those nice young college guys front and center, along with a great price, we think is what's the winning combination for us, just like Dylan said.
Now, is timing and turnaround here a factor? So like I just went through a move, like last weekend, maybe the weekend before. And, we went through the whole sales process, right? Like buy the truck. They try to upsell you on like, do you need movers? And we've had some bad experience with movers in the past. So we're like, no, like don't mess with our stuff. We'll get some of our own buddies to handle it. But then, moving day comes, right? And you're like, oh gosh, this is a bitch. And so then we're like more, I don't know, maybe 60% of the way through the move. And we're like, we got to go hire some movers. And so we started like Googling like same day movers, next day movers. Does that like, are people just more prepared on moving than I am? Or am I just completely unorganized in my moving schedule?
The typical person looking to move, typical customer is usually about 7 to 14 days out. So the buy cycle is really quick, but it's also it's not that long term. You're booking the customer, you're following up, and then they're immediately on your schedule. You'll meet them next week.
And then what's the average like number of hours? Like how long does it take, on average, somebody to move?
Typically it's about 2 to 4 hours. It really depends on what they're doing.
What?
Sometimes,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know, right? Sometimes we're loading up their house into a truck. Load onlys range between 2 to 3 hours. Unloads usually a little bit quicker because you don't have to play Tetris in the truck and sit there and figure out how to pack it.
Wow.
So you can unload a truck in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So all in all, it depends on the size of the house, but we like to speed them up because we've got the manpower. We've got a team of 200 guys right now spread across 5 different locations. So if you say you need movers, we've definitely got the movers. And we like to
you're saying 2 to 3 hours of how many dudes, right? Like how many guys?
Exactly. So it really depends on the size of the house. If it's a pretty large move, we'll send 6 guys out there sometimes. But you've got to think these guys get really tired. So if you got guys out there 6-8 hours all day long, they're going to be upset. They're not going to be happy to be out there like moving all day long in the heat of South Carolina. So we like to keep the timeline down. It improves quality. The customer stays happy and the move gets done just considerably faster.
And I mean, so I had 2 experiences. Number one, our move was probably like over 50 man hours because we have just so much shit. So it was like, there was a lot of people involved. I think my sister though did moving the absolute best. I mean, she literally called up like 35 of her friends. Everybody rolled up right at 11 o'clock. Each person picked up like 2 things and the move was done in 15 minutes. That was like the coolest thing I've ever seen. I don't even have that many friends,
I was
but
gonna say your sister is pretty popular. I don't have.
I
any
know, she's like
friends.
super.
I might have
super
4
popular.
people who come help.
If-
If I have
Some
beer for
really,
them.
so I mean, something really interesting. I feel like that kind of stems from this on, how fast people are kind of booking this is, I mean, on Facebook, of course, we can see everything on a 1-day click, 7-day click, 28-day click basis to where, even on a 1-day click window, we're putting $1, making $6 to $7 on that very first day. So, I mean, people are, deciding very quick whether they're booking out a week from now. They're seeing the ad and, really converting immediately. So the direct response aspect to it is pretty freaking killer, I would say.
So would you say like if it's 45, would you say if it's 45 an hour and they're 4 hours, are you talking about like a customer value of $180, or are you talking about 4 hours with like several guys and they're throwing down like $500 to $1,000 on moving?
It varies, but for us, it's a little different. So, kind of the reason our moves are shorter is simply the way our business operates. So, when you have people who are renting their own truck and moving themselves, you're typically not going to get the people with the $1 million houses, and we're very well aware of that. They want a white glove service. Our customers are, your more standard people who have let's call it 1,000 to 3,000 square foot house, and that's why it's so much faster. Also, we don't do any packing. We don't do any unpacking. It's just moving your boxes and your furniture around. But as far as the value goes, our average customer value is right around $300. And our average move is, I think Thomas said 2 to 4 hours, 3 hours with like a little under 3 guys.
Yeah, nice. That's cool. Very cool. I love it. And talk to me about some of the advertising strategies that you guys are deploying, locally. Like, are you targeting like U-Haul locations? You targeting Home Depot? You just targeting a certain demographic? Who do you guys like to get in front of?
Oh, it's good. Demographics is a big one for us. So 40% of the movers for us are between the ages of 25 and 44. So there's an easy one right there. The second one is we actually had a guy recently call us, and he's like, yeah, I just bought a new home. And as soon as I went online and said I bought a new home, I started immediately getting spammed by your Facebook ads, which means Dylan's killing it. And there's another demographic, someone buying a home, someone renting a truck. And exactly, we've got it narrowed down to the types of customers we're looking for. And all we have to do is get our ads right in front of them.
Nice. That's cool, man. I love it.
Yeah,
Should we talk about, go ahead.
I was going to say the other interesting aspect that is different in moving than a lot of industries. So let's just compare it to, say, online retail or something like Herschel backpacks. So someone can look up a Herschel backpack on a Monday and then 3 months later get an ad from them and still be interested in a Herschel backpack. But for us, like you were saying, the buying cycle for moving is typically 7 to 14 days. Someone's making a decision, even as early as 1 or 2 days. And so we know that we need to get in front of those customers as many times as we can in that short timeline. And then once they hit that timeline, we drop off. And so Dylan's got his Facebook ad set up so that once they get past that 28-day mark, we won't send them any more ads because we know they're going to be a dead lead.
Dead. Gotcha. So your frequency is like 30 plus on the remarketing there, or what?
Yeah, 27.6 to be exact. No.
Oh, God.
Repeating, of course.
No, it's like less than 4, so it's not bad at all.
There you go.
Yeah, and it's super
Very
geo-specific. So we only operate, we'd like to target within the 10 to 20 mile range of each city. So it's not like we're some, say, Herschel backpack. We're not some national retailer where we're advertising to the entire US and it's very broad. We can narrow down exactly where we're looking for these people, and it helps it kind of hone it in.
Yeah, I love it. All right, let's dive into the next segment.
Oh gosh, y'all, buckle up. Nick. All right, y'all, check y'all's email as well. I just sent off the very poor ad. Now, this is a poor ad. Honestly, I think it would have some killer thumb stopping power, but I want to hear from y'all first. Go ahead and open this bad boy, enlarge that, and let's get those first reactions. Like, what's going through your mind?
Pulling it up right now.
Pulling it up.
And just so everybody has some context, we got Drip Drop. It's a dehydration relief, but it's not the copy that's very poor, but more or less the image being used in the background. It's very, very concentrated.
Oh my god.
Looks like you took a shot of tequila.
Oh man, yeah, it's a
Let's
very
see.
constipated look. I just, it's. I think it would actually like work somewhat decent in an ad, but I could just imagine all the negative feedback the comments would be. To where I don't even think I would want to run this in an ad if it was my brand. But hey, you know,
It looks like the guy's like just disgusted with how the product actually tastes.
yup.
I don't
Exactly.
He doesn't. He's looking at the product.
Yep.
I mean, this is a poor ad for sure. Good
Yeah,
find.
he's
Good find.
directly looking at how disgusting that product is. It looks like someone just went into Paint and just selected all the text up top and then kind of tried to color it in because they left out the first quotation mark and it's white. So I don't know.
And what's with the dashes? What's with the
Yeah, I
hyphens?
don't know. Try to connect it
Forgetting
all.
dash to dash refill dash the dash water dash bottle dash dehydration
Dehydration.
question mark, and then just a random end quote with no starting quote. This
Well,
is-
there is a starting quote. You just can't see it because it's white. They forgot to color it blue.
Oh gosh, this is so funny.
Yeah.
I'm sold. I really think they did go to clip art, type in guy working out, exhausted, and hey, let's just go ahead and select the first one, dude. Like this is all right. Well, Harry, hey, that's a fun little segment of our Rich Ad Poor Ad segment.
15% off. Is that enough to get you to try that?
I mean, hey, deals for days. I'm always a happy camper, Dave.
Yeah,
That's amazing. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. All right, let's dive into this other piece. One thing that I'd love for you guys to share, we're all about helping marketers understand more of the financial principles of capitalizing their business and scaling up. So with you guys being as early stage as you are and the stage of business that you're at, what advice would you guys have for funding your ad spend? How did you go about ramping up to 20 grand? Did you guys bootstrap at all? Did you put, cash in, just reinvest, the revenues? Did you take on investors? How did you guys get up to 20K spend?
So, in a couple different ways. Number one, we have bootstrapped the entire company. We've never taken an investment. Get where we're at. We've tripled revenue after the first year. We're going to almost triple revenue again this year. That's all done completely by reinvesting our profits. That's one of the biggest pieces of advice we'd give for someone is go as absolute long as you can without taking on investment. It's just going to dilute your equity if you take it on earlier. Secondly, as far as your ad spend, you want to find ways to defer the payment of the money you're going to spend on ads. So if you know you've got a killer ad that's going to get a return, get something like a credit card with a 0% APR for a certain amount of time. Do something where you can defer payment, whether it's to ad card or ad spend, etc. And then just get that money to work for you, knowing that you're going to get your return on it and be able to pay it back at a later date. Easiest way to do it.
Yeah, what card did you guys use early on?
We have went with the Chase Inc. card. It's a 0% APR, 12 months. We got a great credit limit on it, and it's basically funded us all the way up to where we're at right now, and it's done wonders for us. Also, Chase as a whole is just a great bank. Shout out Chase.
Okay, insert Chase sponsorship here.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, Chase.
Let's get some of that bank money out here. That sounds awesome. Well, cool. Congrats on bootstrapping the business thus far, and being smart in terms of using your own personal credit score to get a decent line and ramp up thus far. So you guys are in the process of you've seen some pretty killer traction. You're also looking to raise some money right now. Is that right?
Yep, exactly right. Yeah, about 250,000. So it's not a lot, but that's what we've dialed in on the team that we need to get us to the next level.
So what's the next level for you guys, and like why raising 250,000 right now?
So that's going to be for the technology, not necessarily build out because we've already built out about 75-80% of it. That's going to be to improve the technology stack that we have, building out the team. We'll probably bring on about 9 new employees to take on all the business that Dylan has been pumping us over the past couple of months. We're going to be launching into 4 new markets in addition to the 5 markets we have now. So we really need a solid infrastructure to take on all of that. It's a little bit different than Chris and I doing as much as we can right now with just the other couple of hands on deck helping us out. But yeah, that's what's really going to want to build it out, is that team that we're going to be able to create with it.
And what's it cost to open up a new market, you think?
It's almost negligible. It's since we have such low overhead, we don't own any trucks, we don't own any office space. Getting into a new market is literally just putting out ad spend in that specific market and building up a solid mover base. So it can be as little as $0 if you want it to be. If all you have to do is find a few guys up there that are willing to work, you get them on the platform, and then it just snowballs.
Yeah. And what's the ask on the 250K? What's the range of equity that you guys are willing to give up for the 250?
Yeah, that's a good question. On the 250, we're looking to give up between 5 and 15%. We don't want to give up any more than 15% on our first round. We'd love to keep it below 10, so somewhere around that valuation.
Yeah, and how's the response been so far? How long you guys been raising, and what's been some of the feedback? I know you guys mentioned you've been chatting with a few investors so far.
Yeah, we started about 2 weeks ago, really looking at it. We've lined up a few meetings with investors. We just got out of one. We had ran a little late to this. That's why we just got out of a pretty lengthy meeting. We've got a next round meeting with the guy. Seemed extremely interested. So it's nice to know that the interest is there. It's just, do the terms line up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's the reason for the interest? What do you think that's catching their attention? Is it more your market or the early traction, or you're dominating Facebook ads? What's really the standout in their response?
It's a couple different things. The first one being that we do have traction. So as an investor, it's significantly less risky to invest in a company that's proven the model works, which has basically been our plan for the last 2 years, is take a business model, prove it can scale in one location, and then prove you can scale it to multiple locations. And now it's just us going to investors saying, hey, we've sort of got this thing figured out. Now we just need money to grow faster. And so that's what's been working. And then from a business model standpoint, we think that the fact that we are so asset light, don't have a lot of inventory, we're able to scale extremely quickly into an extremely large market. The moving market is an $18 billion market. And so that combination of things is what we think is piquing investors' interest.
Nice, cool. And how can those that are listening get in touch with you guys if they're interested on investing?
Shoot us an email. You can send me over an email, Tom, Tom at undergrads.com. Follow us on LinkedIn. Chris and I are both very active on LinkedIn. Or you shoot us a contact message on our website, undergrads.com.
Nice. And if somebody wanted to give you guys, let's say the 250, but they wanted to take maybe 5 to 15% of the revenue and do more of a revenue share style model, are you guys open to models like that, or are you looking for straight equity?
We're open to whatever. We'd like to go the equity route, but if someone came to us with a debt finance that made sense, we'd be more than happy to discuss that as well.
Nice.
Yeah, the terms are on the table. We're open to whatever makes the most sense for us and the investor. So send it our way.
Very cool. Well, there you have it. I love it. Congrats on your guys' early traction and success. I love the fact that D Maestro over here is rocking the ads, and you guys have been able to scale up to $20,000 a month here over the summer months. And congrats on the early traction with investors, right? Raising 250K. Let's circle back up in a couple months and see how that goes. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.